Meet Anna, who wants to wake up to such an immersive experience every day of her life. Her busy life in New York has pushed her to use Headspace, one of the most popular meditation apps on Play Store. Every morning, she opens the app and clicks on the Meditate button to choose from a plethora of options available to her, ranging from unwind, de-stress to relationships. She clicks on one such option and goes through an experience something like this.
Hi. Over the next 10 sessions, I'm going to show you a really simple way of getting some more headspace in your life.
Once done, typically for 10 minutes, she closes the app and goes on about with her day.
Let's understand some of the problems with the current existing solution. The first problem is that it explores only one modality of speech. The second problem is that there is no real-time personalization or feedback offered based on speed of adaptation or emotional state of an individual's mind. The third problem is that it gets boring and repetitive after a point of time. The fourth problem is that the meditation experience is focused on gamified with an end goal of improving X rate in Y time. There is no focus on the quality of the practice. And the last problem is that the more advanced versions involving brain-computer interaction devices or studio sessions are too expensive to be used by population at large. So let's see how we can potentially go ahead and solve for this solution. Enters MindSwitch. MindSwitch uses three modalities. The first of speech to provide the guided meditation experience, the second of haptics to provide a more immersive experience to the users, and the third is of heart rate to provide an AI-based feedback mechanism for personalization and a continuous loop which is missing in the market today. Some of the reasons why MindSwitch is able to solve the problem is because it uses a multimodal approach of introducing speech, heart rate, and haptics, and several studies have proved the efficacy of haptics in providing a more immersive experience. It's novel and new in a sense that currently no app exists on a wearable that personalizes the experience along with the use of haptics. User is provided with qualitative and quantitative feedback of how well he or she performed mindfulness. And it's largely focused on improving the quality of the experience rather than on gamifying the number of sessions a person might have attended. It's also a relatively cheaper solution and makes use of existing wearable devices to provide multimodality. Let's look at the implementation plan for MindSwitch. The user will wear a smartwatch, plugged in headphones, and open the MindSwitch app on his or her wearable device. At this point, three things will happen in parallel. The heart rate would be collected from the wearable, the speech input would be given by the app, and the haptics would be peppered in between the speech input. As the heart rate is continually collected during the meditation experience, an ML model, which will be built deciding whether a person is stressed or not, will determine the kind of experience that the app should provide to the user. If the model determines that the person is not stressed, then the experience would be more focused on the advanced meditation techniques, such as observing things or focusing or going to a next level. If a person is determined to be stressed, the focus would be more on elongating the breathing practice so that the person's heart rate is brought down to a certain threshold. This would keep on happening for a little while until the person is crossed a certain threshold of being calm, after which the session would come to an end. From a technology standpoint, I'll be using the TicWatch E3 wearable OS by Google. I was already able to acquire the watch from somebody at MIT, and that I have that with me now. For heart rate, we'll be using the PPG heart rate sensor in the watch, and then the inbuilt speaker. And for the hardware, the vibrator motor of the watch would be used. From a software standpoint, most of the sensors and the capabilities of haptic speech and heart rate would be built in Android SDK. And for the ML model, I will be relying on the Swell dataset of Kaggle, which has been used to determine, which has collected data for large data to determine whether a person is stressed or not. And for the experience, I will be coding everything in Java in Android SDK. From an evaluation criteria standpoint, I would be validating two hypotheses. The first hypothesis is that I believe that using haptics and wearables results in a better and more immersive experience than meditation than without. My test would be to evaluate the heart rate of 10 subjects during a 10 minutes meditation session with and without wearable haptics. And the validation criteria would be that I will know that my hypothesis is valid if at least I observe 5% more reduced heart rate with haptics than without. My second hypothesis is that I believe that using heart rate to provide speech and haptic-based feedback for personalization can result in a better and a more immersive user experience of meditation than without. I will evaluate the heart rate of 10 subjects during a 10 minutes meditation session with and without personalization feedback. I will know that my hypothesis is valid if I observe at least a 5% more reduced heart rate with personalization than without. Thank you.